What's good, people? What is good?
Hey, people.
I know we took the week off last week.
Yes, we did.
But we are excited to be back. Yeah.
Got a much needed little break.
Much little break, Labor Day, as they say, for entrepreneurs, incubators, small businesses, business owners. Listen, Labor Day is non-negotiable.
Yes, take those days off.
You got to take those breaks.
Public holiday.
Yes.
Take it off. Do not work.
Yes. Yo, Seesaw Studios in the house. What's going on, fam?
Hey.
Always good to have you. Love seeing your name come through on the chat.
Definitely.
Several others of you are with us tonight. We're excited about that as well. We have a phenomenal guest in store.
Yes, we
Dana
do. Dana Stone.
Excited about that.
Yes, we are excited about that.
Yes. You can see I have my Incubators Couch gear. I just wanted to, just kind of let y'all know.
Because he didn't have that on earlier. And we're like, you need to go put on your shirt.
It's a uniform.
You got to represent, man. Got to put on the uniform.
It's a uniform. Hey, Catherine Lang is in the space. What's going on?
Hi.
Thank you so much for coming through and hanging out. Gary Jones Jr. What's going on, brother?
Awesome.
Oh man, this is good. This is good. I see the Avengers are forming right now. They're coming together, Avengers. That's hilarious. But we're gonna dive right in.
Yes, and we usually do a channel identification to let people know what the show is about.
Okay.
So you will stay tuned to the end. The show is about
unscripted,
vulnerable conversations
with entrepreneurs and business owners
just like you.
That's actually what's in the
That's
circle
on the
around
shirt.
the Incubators Couch logo. That's what it says.
Yeah, and we usually start off with a little venting session, where we can resonate with one another.
Oh man, she hosting today. Let me shut up.
I'm trying. And then the next thing is we will have a resource of the week, and then finally we will have our guest. So if you're looking forward to seeing Dana, just stay on for a little bit more. We got some stuff in store.
Not very long.
Not long.
And the guest section of the show is called the therapy session.
Therapy session.
Because that's the whole premise is Incubators Couch. It's like a therapist's couch. You come in and sit on the couch, lay on the couch, share some of your issues, stress, struggles. Get that release that is so necessary, and we get our release through the host rant, which is coming up right around now. Oh, that's good. That's good. That's good.
What are we venting about today?
Let me ask you a question out there. YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn. Everybody that is watching right now. Let me do one other quick thing. If you are one of our faithful followers, we want to be able to stream this on LinkedIn. In order to do that, we need 150 followers on that platform. So please just go to the composition page.
LinkedIn.
Yeah, the composition page. Just look at look for the composition page. The composition
LLC.
That's correct. You'll find it. It's easy to find. But listen, this is what I want to ask. This is what I want to say. How long is this show? Hey, Catherine, we usually go about 45 minutes to an hour, somewhere there. It just depends on how long the therapy session is. But this is what I want to say. If you have a car, you buy a car. You at some point you may have to get an oil change. You may actually have to rotate tires. You may need to put in different spark plugs. These are what we call consumables. Just normal wear and tear. There's nothing wrong with the car. There's nothing, the car is continuing to function as it's supposed to, but your consumables, tires, gas,
come on, gas,
oil, these things are consumables. And so those consumable items will have to
Catherine, you're making us laugh. I'm sorry.
you will have to replace those consumable items, right?
Exactly.
Let's say you have a toaster. Maybe you might have an oven. Man, listen, you may even have a home with a roof on it. And everybody knows that when you get a home, you have to do some things around the house. You might have to oil the doors from creaking. You have to oil. We actually need to oil the garage door. The garage door. That's a small pin.
We need to get that done.
But you may actually have, you might need to put on a fresh coat of paint after a while.
Yes. That's
There's
true.
a term.
There's different things. That 10-month
210
warranty.
2 months, 10
You've
months.
got to do that.
Yeah. They come in, they touch some things up. They might tighten some things up. House is settling, especially if it's a new house, stuff like that.
Yes.
I mean, even like our son had braces, and you had to,
every
few months or so,
go in there, get stuff tightened,
absolutely,
readjusted, making sure things are going as it should.
Yeah. There's just so many different things, even for computers, for phones, for camera equipment. There are things that you want to do to kind of make sure that thing is running at optimal performance.
Can you kind of get where we're going with this?
There's just things that you want to do. Now, what you would never do is buy the car and not get insurance. In fact, it's illegal in most states across the country. You can't drive without car insurance. I'm just pausing here. I'm going to kick it to Kanique here in a second, but I want you guys to kind of catch where I'm going. If you want it to work for you over the long haul, if you want it to continue to work the way that it worked when you first purchased it,
first got it,
you're going to need to maintain it. Maintenance. You're going to want to maintain it. You can't buy a house, get this, and the grass looks great the first day. 2 weeks later, a month later, the grass is overrun and you're complaining to the builders like, bruh,
what's up
why
with
is the grass looking like this? You have to maintain.
You have to do that yourself.
You're the owner.
This is yours. Maintain it. We're done. We signed the contract. We gave you the house.
I gave you the key.
It's time for you to maintain it.
Upkeep is vital.
Upkeep.
Seesaw says. Upkeep is vital. All right. Go ahead and share.
So in the same way as we have been talking, the same goes for websites.
You got to.
Websites need maintenance.
Websites need maintenance.
Do they not, guys? In the chat, they need maintenance. So
if you don't maintain the website, then then you will have a flyer on there from a launch event in 2020, and it's 2023, and the launch event flyer is still on your main page.
On there.
You gotta maintain your website.
You have to maintain it.
What?
Or you haven't updated the plugins and themes, and then all of a sudden you go to your site and it says could not be found. 404 error.
Listen.
500 internal server error.
This is a public service announcement.
Guys.
This is a public service announcement, okay? If you have a website and you have not maintained it.
Oh my goodness.
Well, first of all, do you actually know if it's still there? Because
real talk, if you're not maintaining it, then how do you know if it's still up and running?
That mug might be gone and you won't even know.
And I've had a couple clients.
There it is.
One last week who was like, my site has been down. Do you have a backup? I know I was supposed to maintain it, but things came up.
Yeah.
Guys, we understand that things can come up, especially if you're not in the web field. Do your thing, handle your business, but give it to somebody who this is what they want to do.
Listen,
let them maintain it for you.
In our launch documents, we share that even if you don't go with composition for website maintenance, please find someone to maintain it.
Or do it yourself.
But I mean, it's just it's like fam.
You maintain it, guys.
Yeah.
And you cannot roll up and say, man, the site you gave me is not working,
no,
man.
You can't do
it's
that.
been 5 years. Why is it down?
You can't do that. Why is the site down?
You did not sign up for maintenance and you weren't maintaining it. So
I mean, talk to us in the chat. Do you have, I don't know what you're probably not in web design, but in whatever capacity you are serving people.
Yes.
Has anybody ever come, they opted not to work with you on whatever it is you're doing. And now they're coming back saying, hey, all that stuff that you guys were saying you want, can you do that no, we can't now, not now, because it's already done. It's already over with. We can't maintain it now. It's, listen,
I'm telling you, it applies to so many different scenarios.
We bought a car, her car. It's a black Acura TSX 2010.
Oh yes. Oh my goodness.
We bought it from a dealership in Chattanooga and brought it home, and we had it for 4 months Took it to the mechanic for regular routine maintenance. The mechanic was like, this car will not run. We were
You
like,
guys,
what are you talking about?
Oh my God.
He's like, whoever had this car before you did not maintain it.
At all.
It's a great car, but they didn't maintain it.
At
Just
all.
losing compressions, it lost a cylinder. We didn't have a piston. I was like, what are you talking about? He's like, they didn't maintain this car. We ended up, get this, replacing the entire engine.
Yep.
Do you see where I'm going with this? Mm-hmm. The car would have lasted for years and years and years and years if it was maintained. But now that it hasn't been maintained, doesn't mean that, oh, well, so I didn't maintain it. So, hey, I want to come now to maintain it. No, you can't maintain it now. Now you actually have to replace the engine.
The engine, y'all.
And that's what I'm trying to say. When it comes on to work and consumables and things that you go for a service, if the service provider is telling you, hey, you might want to look at this.
Yes.
I'm not even trying to get the business. I'm just letting you know this is what you need to do to maintain said item.
Mm-hmm. And I love what Catherine says. She says, if you don't maintain your website, it's the same as never cleaning your brick and mortar store. Ain't nobody coming into a messy store.
No.
Nobody will want to go in. And if they don't go in, then they won't buy. Come on, Catherine.
Come on, Catherine.
Yes.
Catherine is helping us today. I like it.
That's good.
Catherine, we need you to come back every week. That's all right there,
Yes,
Catherine. I like
good.
it. This is the truth. I mean, that's how it works. That's how it works. That's how it works. Asking for changes in the website down the road is like going to the bakery and asking for vanilla cake.
And then picking it up,
Oh
getting
my
a
gosh.
slice, and then asking if they can make it a chocolate one instead.
I don't like this cake.
One-time web design is not for most people. Invest in maintenance.
You gotta have
I
maintenance.
love Catherine.
Gotta
Come
have
on.
maintenance.
Yes.
This is what
That's good.
Sometimes we be feeling like maybe we're the abnormal ones. Like, why wouldn't you get maintenance? You knew you weren't going to be able to set up the site. You knew we weren't going to be able to upkeep the site. So why did?
So
even if you don't get us, okay, all right.
have
Here,
someone,
let
yes.
me. Here's the last point. I'm done with this.
we're spending a little extra time. I'm sorry.
She in her launch documents, in her launch process, she actually goes over how to maintain and update the site. Like there's an hour of training with every site we launch. So if you don't want to purchase maintenance, you could have a nephew, a niece, a daughter, somebody come to that training and have them maintain your site for you. But what you can't do is not do anything.
You have to do something, y'all.
Yeah.
Do
That's
something.
embarrassing. Yeah, they were being cheap. And as my dad likes to say, it's very expensive to live cheap. Very expensive. Fam, with that said, we want to get into resource of the week. Yo. Want to say a quick shout out to, I don't know why his name popped in my head as soon as Kanique said the name of the platform, but I want to say a quick shout out to my guys, Henry McKechnie. I said Henry Rice. Henry McKechnie, is his birthday today. Shout out to Henry, man. HBD doc. Here we go. Our Pablo. Y'all know Canva, right?
Yes.
How many?
Yes.
Raise your hand in just
Canva.
put a 1 in the chat if you are familiar with Canva. Put a 1 in the chat. Procrastination is the enemy of maintenance. Come on, Seesaw Studios.
Yes.
You taking me backward. I'm trying my best to move on.
I know we trying to.
Have you met people? People don't know what they don't know, and they don't want to admit they don't know. Oh, that's a whole word. That's a whole word, Catherine. That's a whole word right there. Oh my gosh. I have met people. I've met the same people that you've met, clearly. All right, we got a bunch of 1s in the chat. Everybody understands and knows Canva. Well, did you know that Pablo is like Canva?
A dumbed down version.
It is a much simpler
for those who might be technically inclined. Yeah. But it's really cool. You know, you go on Instagram and you see those nice quotes with the picture in the background, that kind of stuff. Yeah. That's exactly what Pablo does. Yeah. And it is free. It's free 99. It's offered by Buffer. Some of you might have heard of Buffer, which is a platform that you can help post all your posts to different social media platforms at once. But they offer Pablo where you can create your quotes. They even have quotes in there that are already in there.
Already done.
So you can just tab across and say, oh, let me use that quote. Yeah. Change up the picture, add a background behind it, and voila, you can download it and share it onto your social media platforms. Yeah, I mean, we're just sharing. Listen, we're not saying dump Canva. Canva's dope. We've actually highlighted Canva for our resource of the week. Yes, we have.
But I know some people are, they'll look at Canva. they'll look at some of the designs in Canva, they'll look at some of the templates, and they feel overwhelmed.
Yes.
I have personally sat with people and they're like, I'm overwhelmed. I'm like, with
much.
Canva? You haven't even seen Photoshop. But if you are overwhelmed with Canva, you might want to give Pablo a try.
Yes.
And if you know someone that is overwhelmed with Canva, then they might want to check out Pablo.
Easy.
And again, the price is right.
Yes,
We make sure that all the resources that we highlight here in Resource of the Week here on the Incubators Couch are free. So this is one of those that we wanted to highlight for you guys. I love all the Canva love in the chat, and I see my our guest is in the chat tonight. Dana is on this. I love it. But yeah, no, that's what it is. That's our resource of the week this week, and hope that it will be beneficial to you. I don't know if there was anything else we were going to. Oh, this is one of the quotes.
Yeah, and
that you can use there.
Yeah, and it does allow you to link directly to your social media platform,
and
so you
post.
can post directly from here, or you can download the image and then post it.
Yeah.
So it's pretty cool, simple, straightforward.
Yeah, I mean, it's
get it done.
A clean interface. You can see what it looks like on the screen right here. So definitely just wanted to kind of showcase a little bit. Pablo.com.
No, pablo.buffer.com.
Pablo.buffer.com. That's what I thought. Okay. That's why I looked at it. I was like, I don't think it's pablo.com. Anyway, pablo.buffer.com. We'll make sure it's in the description. But listen, we want to highlight, we want to spotlight, I should say, our incubator of the week, which is Live and Rest, which is the company owned and operated by our guest for tonight, Miss Dana Stone. So let's get into it.
There, I'm Dana Stone, a profit strategist and overwhelm coach with Live and Rest Coaching. Did you know that 80% of small business owners don't pay themselves? As a small business owner myself, I understand the struggles that come with cash flow management and the constant demands of the business. I'm here to help clear the confusion. That's why I started this division of Live and Rest Coaching, to help businesses like yours achieve their financial goals and avoid burnout. I'm a Profit First professional and a full focus certified pro with over 3 years of experience creating customized profit strategies. We can make your business profitable from day one. So if you're looking for clarity on your next steps around profitability or brainstorming around specific goals, I invite you to visit my website today at liveandrest.com. Schedule a free strategy call with me. Let's work together to take your business to the next level where you pay yourself consistently, be more productive, and feel less overwhelmed.
Man, we are always excited to have with us people from the community here in Huntsville. People who I like to say are walking on water, because that's what it takes to go step out of the boat and start a business. And we're excited to have Dana with us today.
Hey, I'm super pumped to be here.
And guys, I asked her like the day before, and she said yes. So I'm like, that is awesome. Yeah.
Everything lines up sometimes. I was
does.
just like, well, let me look.
Yeah.
And she's like, yeah, I'm available. I was
Why
like,
not?
perfect.
Yes.
So glad you're here. And guys, Dana is a good friend of ours.
Yes.
I've known Dana for about 5 or so years.
Has it been
We
that
are
long?
BNI sisters, y'all.
Oh, man.
BNI, as in Business Networking International. We've
you
talked
always have
about
to
it
say
before.
Yes.
But in my networking group, we have been together that long. So
That is amazing.
I remember one time when you were like, yeah, guys, I'm going to move away. I'm going to leave. And I'm like, I'm sorry. No,
What?
you're not. What do we got to do? What do we got to do to make you not do
man.
that?
Listen,
So-
the Lord wasn't
it was
happy
hurting.
with that
I
plan.
know. And then you almost left us too.
Yeah. And then,
Well, you did kind of leave us a couple months, but then she came back. So
did.
she's not going anywhere.
We're not relinquishing. But Dana, talk to us a little bit about what you do. Of course, they've seen the video, and of course, as you're in the chat right now, guys, just go ahead. Let's give Dana an Incubators Couch welcome. You know, put some emojis, all those things, right? But Dana, take a second and just kind of explain a little bit more about what it is you do and some of the things that I guess transpire in the course of your day.
Yeah. So it's funny because we've known each other long enough that you've seen an evolution of even my business. And you know what? do we ever arrive? We never arrive. Like, we're always constantly changing.
And
I've seen you
guys
guys change and grow.
Yes.
So
Our
much.
last interview, we did say the same thing. It's an ever-changing thing.
It changes.
You
There's
don't
no
know
doubt.
what you don't know, and then you get there and things are more clear. And so in the very beginning, my entry into entrepreneurship was all about sleep and helping families sleep through the night, right?
Wow.
And
very important.
that's where the rest part comes from, because before that I never realized how important rest was, right? So live and rest, and I moved into a life and business coaching. So right now what I do is I help entrepreneurs focusing on profitability and productivity.
Love it.
So every entrepreneur, what's their biggest stressors? Time and money.
Time and money.
Time and money. And so what we do is we work on a plan to figure out how to make those not stressful.
That's good.
How to put balance back in, how you can be successful and live your life in both of those areas, but also have rest.
Yeah.
And incorporate it. So I really like to focus on, what are the simple systems that we can do to make money easy?
Yeah.
To make profitability not an afterthought.
Yeah. You got to plan it in.
As an entrepreneur, we can't just pay ourselves what's left over.
No.
Because there's never anything just left over.
Ooh, there's already tips and tricks here. Yes. Listen, put a 5 in the chat if those are your two things, right? Profitability.
I was 3 years into my first business and I hadn't paid myself.
Wow.
And my husband was like,
What's happening?
so are we gonna get a check?
What's
I
going
love
on?
that you have this little hobby.
I'm
like, oh god.
Hey, that's a reality.
Okay.
That's because there are times where it isn't making ends
As much
meet
money,
and you're not bringing in what you want. There is traffic, but not as much. And so, man, that's a good one. That is a good one. And then we have been talking a little bit about, the entrepreneur's life, right? And in some of our host rants and some of the other things that we've talking about, just kind of like how our siblings interact with us, because they're looking at you like, but you don't work anyway. And you're like, but hold on, I do work.
Yeah.
I will probably work more than you.
Probably harder.
Right. But then there's the spouse's journey is a very real journey as well, especially if they're not an entrepreneur, which I wasn't for a number of years. I was in the 9-to-5 space and really enjoyed what she was able to do. But yeah, it's definitely different.
When you stepped into this, did a lot of things make sense that maybe didn't before, that she was experiencing, but maybe you weren't because you were still in the corporate space?
There are some things that became clearer. I had a very good understanding of where the balance. So
because y'all communicate,
and
right?
he is the budget person, so he would know all that.
But even for our kids, I remember that the straw that broke the camel's back, as they say. My daughter said to me, I don't. So they just tell you to come back to work and you come.
This was during the pandemic.
Yeah. So I told them, I was like, oh yeah, they've called us back into work. Apparently we're essential. And then they were like, I don't like that. I like mommy's job. Mommy's job, she gets to set her own terms and all those things. I don't know if I like your job. And that was an eye opener for me. So that was a missing piece that I really wanted to have. The freedom and the flexibility to do. And to be honest, even any other job prospects that I ever consider now, they've got to allow me that level of flexibility. So
once you get a taste, you can't go back.
No, you cannot.
You really can't. You really can't.
You might have traded the 9-to-5 for the 24/7.
This is true.
But
it's way more freedom.
it is. You get to decide what it
looks like. But this is the myth, though, that the 9-to-5 is more productive, because I feel like you know what I mean? It's just I feel like oh my word, when I go into the office at all, there's just there's the side conversations, there's people passing by. There's a lot of things that you just cannot get done. So hey,
And we kind of off topic, guys.
We're way off.
Well, with productivity, I mean, that's my jam. So,
but but these are very relevant conversations for any entrepreneur as you look at certain things. You may even be in a space as it's still working for a 9 to 5 and kind of growing this side hustle, and you're trying to figure out how do I make it profitable. These are things. I love that we also are able to bring people onto the Incubators Couch who are resources for you guys. So you make sure you check out that handle.
Definitely.
Make sure you check her out on the different social platforms, but in not only the content that she's putting out there, but there's no boundaries in terms of distance or anything like that now. So give her a call if you find yourself in that situation and you need somebody to kind of walk you through that or coach you through that. I think that's absolutely awesome. Now
we are ready.
We are settling in.
We are ready for
we always come for a story. This is no different. Dana's got a ton of them, so we just want one. Well, she's done multiple things, so there's.
I know. I could talk about nightmare parents. I could talk about sales.
No. The sleeping could be epic.
Honestly, so that means we just need to have her come back. On the different hats.
Yes. But which one is today's? So well, what I we're talking about kind of like, what was that nightmare experience that really helped shift and shape things for you? And so what really came up for me was a particular client that redefined how I communicate my boundaries and what happens inside my sales calls. Because as a coach, you're giving a lot of your energy away, right? You are. And I also now know that there are only so many sessions I can do in a day and still have stuff left over to give to my family.
Yes.
Otherwise, the end of the day, I'm a puddle and I'm like, don't touch me, don't talk to me, I'm peopled out, I'm done. So I had this particular client who, we would go round and round over the same thing over and over. It's like we were stuck in a loop and we weren't making progress. And it was like the things that he would come to me with, I would try to, let me ask very insightful questions here. And what we finally found out was that he had a very different value system that I did. And so I really believe at the end of the day, his thought was that a woman's place is in the home and the kitchen. So there's so many questions there, right? So like, why were you working with a female coach? Why were you so many things? But maybe there was some unrealization that he didn't know that was his core value. But so it's so funny, some of the things that we talked about earlier, like in my sessions, when I'm talking about everything in an entrepreneur's life and the things that stress them, like sex comes up a lot. Like you would think, oh no, business profitability. I almost probably would say at some point, 99% of my clients, it's come up, and it's not like I'm asking about it.
Wow.
And
that is interesting.
I know. They should do
a
case study on
this
that.
is a doctorate waiting to happen.
And so, but different aspects. And I always just, my role as a coach is not actually to judge or have any, I don't actually put forth my opinion on a matter. Mine is just to help you guide and think through questions. And, but as I'm guiding and trying to think through questions, what I'm hearing come out is like, well, yeah, she should absolutely bend over, and not in that sense, but just do whatever I need done.
Wow.
And I am just on the other end. Wow. I don't know where to go with this conversation. And it was, I even still had sessions after this, and it was finally like, okay, I don't know that we're a good fit anymore. And so got there.
There's so many things here. There is something to be said for the value system. I know for us, I've worked with a number of different types of clients that do all manner of things. You would be surprised what all is possible with a live show. A client who has a cigar show and it literally brings people on to smoke with him.
Yes.
And I'm no judgment, but then there are others who do other things. I'm just going to leave it at that. And so as I chat with the person, whenever there's an imbalance in the values, I always find that it's not going to be a long-term business relationship. We may actually stay. I mean, several of them we still stay in touch to this day. But in terms of me providing a service, it doesn't work out.
Right.
So there is, that's
Something
a
to say
major
about that.
component
That is,
of the success framework for any entrepreneur is finding that person who's I don't know if their values have to be exactly in alignment,
Not exactly,
but if there's a huge imbalance, if there's
I like to be challenged.
Yeah, me too.
I like
Me too.
for people to help me see things in a different way.
I listen, that's how I grew up.
Yeah, and that's good and that's needed. And sometimes it's like, oh, well, I could see how you got there.
Yeah.
I don't actually align with that, but it is hard to coach somebody through something if you're just constantly met with, well, this is the resistance.
the
resistance. Yeah.
So you're right. It's not that judgment is not really part of it. It's just like, how much energy do you have to
expend? Yeah. And even with that particular scenario, you're also, there is a specific goal you're trying to get them to,
right?
Trying to frame things and chart a way forward when you have this impasse can be a difficult thing.
That's very difficult.
Wow.
And so that came up for me as just like, okay, well, so what did this do for me?
Yeah.
Oh, going forward, man, I know much more about what questions I want to ask.
Good.
It's
the
all
front
about
side.
it's all about the questions on the front end,
side.
and they're not so much like I'm not a feminist or anything. I mean, I am pro women, but it's not like I've got these hardcore things. It's just like, I'm gonna need to know what it is that we want to work on,
Yes.
and be very clear about how we're gonna get there,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So that otherwise, coaching, if you just come in really blank all the time, how are you making progress?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. That's true. You have to set goals in place. Definitely.
Yeah. My questionnaire for that initial coaching call is ridiculous.
Yeah.
Even for me, I look at that thing like I wouldn't fill this out, but I do it that way because if you go through the trouble of filling that whole thing out, either you will get halfway through and be like, this is too much, or you'll get all the way through and be like, okay, I think I'm ready for this.
Yeah,
For
because
real.
it does weed out the people that
it
aren't
does.
serious. Like if you're serious and intentional about getting this coaching thing done, then you're going to fill it out.
Yeah.
And if they're not committed enough to even fill out a questionnaire, are they going to show up to your sessions?
Are they going to do the work?
Yeah.
And in the very beginning, I think of entrepreneurship, you're kind of like, anybody with a heartbeat, come over, give me some money. I just wanted to make it. Like, please, I don't really care. What are your Oh, yeah, I specialize in that.
Yeah. What do you?
For sure.
Whatever you need, I'll figure it out.
Yes, I can figure it out. And then you really figure out what it is that you are really good at.
Yeah.
Yes.
Right. I think you guys are doing a great job at that.
We absolutely love what we do. What I thought was interesting also with coaching is that regardless of the types of coaching I may be engaged in, mainly live video or content coaching, it doesn't matter. It always comes back to life coaching.
Right.
Like there's no other, like that's the base of coaching is like, there's so many things, aspects that play into being successful in even this one niche that come from the entire life.
Yeah, that is the basis.
So,
Do you think it's because of the lies we're telling ourselves typically?
Absolutely.
I want to write a book. Let's put it down. I really do want to write a book that's called The Meanest Person in the Room. Because it's you. You're the meanest person because of all this like self-talk
Ooh,
that's going
Write
on.
the book.
Yeah.
She said it first, y'all.
And don't steal my title. This copyrighted.
Yes.
And
No, but that is good. And I love that you see, it's one thing to have these experiences in business and recognize like, man, that was interesting. but it's a whole other thing to allow that to have impact on how you go forward. Like how you engage now, what's in your questionnaire, how do you do your intake, how do you onboard new clients, and then what are you trying to get towards? Maybe you start weeding out certain types of coaching or certain types of issues. Well, if that's your issue, I have some recommendations for you, but that's not actually something I do. And even in business, I just love the way you said that. When you start out, you're hungry. It's true. You're hungry. I don't want to say the word desperate, but you are.
You feel this desperation.
Yeah. It's like,
because you have bills to pay, you have different pressures. So
well, it's that too. And some people may start off as a hustle, but it's also like this desire to. It's like, as I get clients, now I'm actually the thing I say I am. So if I say I'm a coach and I don't have any clients, then am I a coach? So now it's like, well, let me get a couple of clients. Let me get a couple of coaching clients. Now that I have them, it's like, all right, now I'm a coach. Now I'm really a coach. But as the truth of the matter is, man, even in those early stages of business, you don't want to be so hungry that you look past some of the telltale signs. You look past
those red flags come up. Right? They do. You just ignore them. Oh, it'll be fine. It'll be fine. I can work through anything. It'll be fine. But the more like specific you are, and who doesn't talk about niching down, right? But the more specific you are about the types of people that you are looking for, that you really can help, I mean, it really just, then that desperation does go away, because you start to get in the right circles and the right people. Like if you expend all your energy on the wrong client, then what do you have left?
That's a challenge.
Because then you leave those and you're like, man, that was like 4 sessions all in one, and I really can't do anything else right now.
And that's the thing too, is you don't, not just for what you're providing for the client, but even for what you have left for you, what you have left for your family, and what does the rest of that day look like? I mean, so there's a number of things there. You want to make sure that what you're doing is refilling you, right? That you are energized. I mean, there are certain clients, you see the phone ring, you're like, I don't really care what I'm doing. I'm entering this because this is, I love what we're doing together, as opposed to others. You're like, oh, yeah.
I'll call them back.
I'll send them a text message. Let's send a text message.
Text in and say, hey, what's going on?
Not quite today.
And I really love that you talked about how you set boundaries. Like you're like, I'm going to see a certain amount of clients a day. That's good. So that I have energy for my family
over time, right?
Like that's good wisdom, people.
Yeah, don't overcommit yourself. And then knowing, another big thing is like making sure that you've got white space in there. There needs to be margin. There needs to
can't do back to back.
You can't. You just can't do all day long.
That's true.
One of the major things I saw that Kanique had when I was still in the 9-to-5 space, of course, is she had that latitude. She could work on something and then take a break. Like, let me go work out. Let me go pick up some groceries. Or let me go do some things. And then she'd come back and do some more work. And I was like, man, I've got to go from 9 to 5. I don't I get lunch, but that's about it. And sometimes I didn't even get lunch, just depending on where you are in corporate. But those are, you have that latitude. And because you're working for yourself as an incubator, as an entrepreneur, you can kind of break it up. So you have permission, as they say, to structure your day in a way that allows you that white space. I love that phrase. Sometimes just to rejuvenate, sometimes to just kind of be in your own thoughts. But other times just veg, watch some Ninja Warrior, or I don't know, whatever, whatever's your guilty pleasure. But just to kind of zone out for a little bit and then get back to it. So,
well, where do your best ideas come to you at?
Ooh, that's a good one.
When do you like, it's like when you're driving in the car, you're in the shower, you're being mindless and your mind just wanders. And then all of a sudden it starts solving some of those things.
That's so good.
And that's the same thing. If we're running sprint after sprint after sprint after sprint, there's no space for your mind to just go, oh, you know what? There's an easier way to do this.
Yeah, it's like your brain needing to take a breath, like, take a breath. Yeah.
I personally love cutting the grass. So it's something about the lines. I don't know what it is. Like I'll let go of the lawnmower, run inside, write down some ideas and go back. Cause it's just, I don't know. I get a lot of creativity from And so she's always like, oh, well, why don't we pay somebody to cut the grass? No, I need to cut the grass myself. I need to do it myself.
And that takes self-awareness to know like that's what maybe you feel like you have to be a little bit productive in your downtime, right? You're feeling like I can't just sit here and do nothing, but this is kind of like the same thing, but I'm also being productive.
I mean, for me, I'm telling you, I sometimes I'm done with the yard. I'm looking back like, when did I finish that section? Because my mind is just, racing, thinking about all kinds of different things. And I think one of the things as an entrepreneur, you do need to find what rejuvenates you, what refills you, what gives you ideas, what causes your creative juices to flow. Figure out what allows you to break into those spaces. In the public speaker space, they will tell you you've got to have that stage routine. I'm told that Eric Thomas does 50 push-ups. I'm not doing that. But
all of a sudden my hair is no longer fixed. I'm sweating on the sides and I'm like, okay, guys, let me.
A good friend of mine was backstage with him and he saw him drop down and do 50. And I was like, that is stupid. That's not for me. But that when he gets on stage, it's almost like he's out of breath. He's got that. He's pumped up and he's ready to go. I think you've got to find that thing that allows you to get into that space. That
so what is it for you? What do you do?
Oh, before I speak?
Yeah.
Oh, there's a couple of songs, and there's as kids we grew up memorizing movies, and there's a couple of scenes from a couple of movies that I'll just recite to myself.
Okay.
And that allows me
I
to
kind of imagine like the boxer that's like
no,
sitting there like
yeah. I did some training with a guy out of Nashville named Grant Baldwin, and he is a former youth pastor, but he's a public speaker now and has this program called Booked and Paid to Speak. But his routine is actually "Lose Yourself" by Eminem.
I love that one.
And he'll put that thing on. This is a youth pastor.
Yeah, I know, right?
I'm just singing it. Yeah.
So it's the clean and edited version.
But he said it's just something about it, man. And then when he's able to hit the stage, he's
there and ready.
He's ready. Yeah.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So now we got on self-care. So
I know.
we've touched all the gambits
we
here.
really have. But it's been great.
No, this has been awesome. This is awesome.
So
we
much,
definitely have to have you back.
Yeah,
There's
so we can hear the other stories.
20 more versions of this that we could do. But we're so excited. Take just 1 second to say if there's anything that you have coming up, any special offers, anything that people can check into, Live and Rest Dana, that they can follow, or things that anything that you got that you want to
The most
highlight.
Exciting thing that's coming up is I'm teaming up with Vicki Morris, and we're going to do a seminar series. It'll be a small business workshop series, and it's going to be focused on clarity. And she's going to bring all the marketing expertise. Nice. I'm going to bring all of the productivity and profitability. And so each of our 6 sessions, there'll be half of her, half me, and really digging into clarity. So it's for those business leaders and owners that maybe you've been chasing the same goal, quarter after quarter, maybe even year after year. Like you keep saying, I'm going to start that podcast, or I'm going to write that book, or whatever it is. That is who needs to be here to take it to the next level.
Is it in person?
It's going to be in person here in Huntsville, so you got to be local here.
Yeah. And where can they find the information?
It's on liveandrest.com/clarity.
Nice. We'll put that link in the description. Thanks, guys, for hanging out with us today.
That almost caught us off guard, y'all. We were like, oh, wait. Oh, yes.
I was like, wait, the joint is done? No, Dana, that was dope. That was dope. I'm looking at, the links are in the comments section. I see Dana has put the link out there, liveandrest.com/clarity for those local to Huntsville. Oh, the only way to write that book is to write a word. Come on, Catherine.
Yes, Catherine. So
listen,
Dana,
Catherine has been with
you need to jump over to LinkedIn and connect with Catherine Lang. She said she can help you with that book. So y'all need to connect on LinkedIn. I think
that'll be dope. And I will say this, Catherine, I'm gonna have to go look in the bowels of LinkedIn to figure out, how I must be missing the connection. But anyway, do you know Grant Baldwin? That's absolutely awesome. Grant is cool people, man. I went through his course. Still a member of that program. I can still actually log in and continue to kind of, refresh my public speaker skills, which I still use regularly, even as a streamer, even as a content creator, even as a show host. I utilize those skills. So it's just something about being able to command your voice and speak. So dope, man. I wanted to say this as well. Dana talked about her project with Vicky Morris.
Yes.
And Vicky Morris is actually our guest next week on the show here on Incubators Couch. So we're excited about that. We'll be plugging that same project also, yet again next week. So you'll hear a little more about that, but from a different perspective. And Vicky's also in the web space.
Yes, she is.
So
that would be
we
nice
had a really
to
cool
have
conversation.
A fellow web person on. And she is kind of like a speaker, coach, marketer as well. So that's gonna be cool.
What Dana just said in the chat is absolutely correct. This was not pre-planned. It was absolutely not pre-planned. That is absolutely amazing.
It was really not.
That is
it's cool. Just the timing just worked out so perfectly.
Oh yes, through co-working night in Huntsville. Catherine says we met through co-working night. Oh, that's so dope. Yeah. With Julian Waddell.
So look at that, Dana. Catherine is in the Huntsville area.
Yes, she is.
So y'all need to connect.
This is crazy. I love this. The network is growing. Gotta have a network, man. But listen, that discussion, that therapy session, as it were, that was good.
That was really good.
There was a lot in there, a lot of nuggets of wisdom.
Yeah, we wandered off a little bit here and there, but all of it was still good.
It was good wandering. Yeah. It was fruitful wandering. Oh man, Catherine, thank you so much. I'm glad you were able to come through, and hope you can come and check us out. She says, she's in Gunnersville.
So if you're in Huntsville,
but Gunnersville's not that bad.
Yeah,
but
not bad.
Man, I hopefully you can come back Mondays, 7 p.m. Central, of course, Central Time, for another session on the Incubators Couch. But listen, fam, man, talk to us in the comments right now if you have ever had that imbalance with a potential client or an existing client or a former client. There's something it's not all the time that your values are going to exactly align.
That's true, yeah.
But you do want to, I don't know. I found more success with clients who we are not wildly imbalanced in our values. It doesn't, I don't know. It just doesn't work as well. But I mean, I have a lot of, I don't know how else to put that. I have a lot of friends who have very differing viewpoints and perspectives and worldviews, and we get along just fine. We work just fine, but there's something about that client relationship, especially when the thing that you're putting out is I think not it's because you kind of buy into that thing that you're also trying to help them create. So if you guys are completely imbalanced in that way, then it's going to be hard for you to do your best, is what I'm thinking. I agree. Yeah. So. Yeah. You can't bring your full self to the joint. That's really what it is. I think Catherine actually said that in the comments as well. But yeah. Clients, they keep adding little bits without wanting to pay more. Oh man. It's interesting. This whole this is the reason why we wanted to create this space is because there is not platforms for business owners, entrepreneurs, solopreneurs, whatever, service providers, and to just kind of be like, man, sometimes it sucks.
Yes, to kind of share.
And sometimes it's rough. Sometimes I'm dealing, this is what I'm dealing with. This is what I'm dealing with. We want you to know that you're not alone. We want you to know that you're not abnormal, because there are times where we'll be looking at one another like, is this not like, why would you do this? Is it? What's going on?
Yeah.
But we want people to know that such is the nature of doing business and providing a service to people that are out there, to clients who come to patronize your business. It's just crazy.
Messages. Catherine's put some good stuff in there.
My bad.
Good stuff.
Let me put this one back up. All right. So this one. Sometimes you are fearful of not having business, and if fear is driving the cart, then you will end up in a ditch.
Good stuff.
I like that one. I'm a visual person, so I see the cart in the ditch right now, and I'm like, Lord, not a good space to be.
Not at all. And it's, as Dana says, it's good to know you are not alone. Like, Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
When I am saying something to someone else and they're like, man, I totally feel you. I understand. Like that feels so good to me.
Yeah.
Like that takes a weight off my shoulders. Like, oh, you understand what I'm feeling?
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good.
It's validation.
Yeah.
It's you're seen. It's like I have been dealing with this. I've been experiencing this.
Yeah.
And I feel like it's unfair, but doesn't seem like, because
I'm not going crazy.
I'm not out of my mind.
Crazy.
Not out of my mind. But Dana, we can't say enough thanks to you for coming through and hanging out with us tonight. Listen, we don't always have to go the full hour, so
I know
we're gonna wrap it up right here. This thing was a great conversation today.
And thank you guys for coming through and being with us. If you have not been with us the last couple weeks, feel free to go back and catch the replays. This is episode,
I don't know either.
Yeah, but it's quite a few. So feel free to go back either through our YouTube channel, or you can go to iCouch.show/watch and you'll see all the different episodes we've had so far.
I think this is 17.
Yeah, I thought it was around 16, 17 or so.
This episode, something like that. This is amazing. Several different guests, and next week I said Vicky Morse is our guest. But I think the title is Sometimes You Have to Fire the Client.
Ooh, and that's a good one, y'all. Sometimes you have to fire a client.
Sometimes you got to fire a client, man.
Yes,
you got to fire them. You just got to be like, you're fired.
Yeah. And one more thing, we will be getting our podcast launched hopefully this week. We're working on it, so we should have that on Spotify and all of those other platforms in the next week.
Apple, Google, Stitcher.
Yeah, all those.
Yeah. Man, there's so many different things that we wanted to share, and I think we've got to majority of them.
Yeah.
Here's what it is, man. This space was created with you in mind. This space is for you to be able to vent, for you to have a release, for you to feel normal, to have some of the situations and issues that you may have gone through or dealt with before or currently, to have them be validated. And we are excited about this space that we're trying to grow and continue to push the boundaries of. If you're in the Huntsville area, we're looking for guests. And if you're going to be traveling through the Huntsville area, we're looking for guests.
Come on through. Because I know everybody has a story.
Yeah.
Through.
That part is non-negotiable. We know you have a story. But listen, as we like to say as we close, Incubators Couch is unscripted, vulnerable conversations
with business owners and entrepreneurs.
Just like you. She's got it. She's got it. Only to the 17 episodes, but she's got it. Listen, fam, we love you. We'll see you in the next one. Later.